Time. It's the one thing we all have in common. Regardless of who you are, where you live, or what you believe, time moves forward for everyone. Each second that passes is a second we never get back. But here's the paradox. Even though we know our time is limited, we often treat it as if it's infinite. We waste it. We let it slip away. And one day, we wake up, realizing we've lost precious moments we can never retrieve. This video is about understanding time, how it controls our lives, how we waste it, and more importantly, how we can make every moment count. Think about your daily routine. How much of it is spent on autopilot? We wake up, we go to work, we watch TV, we scroll through our phones. Days blur into weeks, weeks into months, and suddenly, years have gone by. We often think we have all the time in the world, but this is an illusion. This illusion of infinite time is perhaps one of the greatest traps of modern life. We procrastinate, telling ourselves we'll get to it tomorrow. We put off our dreams, assuming we'll have time later. But time is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. And this is true. Most of us are not truly living, we are merely existing, letting the hours slip through our fingers without fully appreciating them. Distractions are everywhere. Our modern world is filled with constant noise, social media, news, entertainment, advertising. It's easier than ever to be distracted, to lose hours scrolling through an endless feed or binge-watching show after show. These distractions steal our time, robbing us of the moments that could be spent meaningfully. The average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media alone. That's more than 700 hours a year. Imagine what you could do with that time if it were used for something more enriching. Reading a book, learning a skill, spending quality time with loved ones. Distractions have become so deeply ingrained in our lives that we barely notice them anymore. But these small, seemingly harmless habits add up over time. They accumulate, and before we know it, the years have passed, and we're left wondering where all that time went. The key to reclaiming our time is not to eliminate distractions entirely, that's impossible in today's world, but to become more mindful of them. To recognize when we're being pulled away from the present moment and to consciously choose how we want to spend our time. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." This is a reminder to live authentically, to follow your own path, and to make every moment count. We cannot control how much time we have, but we can control how we spend it. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. We are constantly searching for external validation, external stimulation, but in doing so, we waste the moments that could be spent truly living, engaged in the here and now. Presence is a rare thing in today's world. We are often physically here but mentally elsewhere, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, or distracted by our devices. But the present moment is the only thing that is truly real. The past is gone, and the future hasn't yet arrived. The only time we have is right now. Being present means fully engaging with the moment, with the people around us, and with ourselves. It means letting go of distractions and immersing ourselves in the now. When we are present, time slows down. We begin to appreciate the small things, the sound of the wind, the taste of our food, the warmth of a friend's smile. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. When we do this, we stop wasting time and start living it. Time is not just about how we spend it alone, it's also about how we spend it with others. In our relationships, we often confuse quantity with quality. We think that spending more time with someone will strengthen the bond, but in reality, it's the quality of the time spent that matters most. How often have you been with a friend or family member, but both of you were distracted, on your phones, thinking about work, not really present? Time spent this way is wasted. The real value comes from moments of true connection, where both people are fully engaged, listening, and appreciating each other. Meaningful relationships are built on these moments of presence. It's not about how often you see someone, but how deeply you connect when you're with them. We live in a culture that values multitasking. We're told that the more we can do at once, the more productive we are. But research shows that multitasking actually reduces productivity and increases stress. When we try to do too many things at once, we end up doing none of them well. Instead of multitasking, we should focus on what matters most. By dedicating our full attention to one task at a time, we can achieve deeper results and experience greater satisfaction. Focus is a superpower in today's world. When we eliminate distractions and give our full attention to what matters, we not only accomplish more, but we also enjoy the process. We stop rushing through life and start experiencing it. Living intentionally means being mindful of how we spend our time. It means reflecting on our choices, our priorities, and our values. Too often, we go through life without stopping to ask ourselves, is this how I want to spend my time? By taking moments to reflect, we can align our actions with our values and ensure that we are spending our time in ways that bring us fulfillment. Socrates famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Reflection allows us to examine our lives, to make conscious choices, and to live with purpose. Time is the most precious resource we have, yet it's the one thing we cannot control. Once a moment passes, it's gone forever. The poet Mary Oliver once asked, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" When we realize that time is finite, it can feel overwhelming. But this awareness also holds the key to true freedom. It reminds us to embrace every moment, to live fully, to stop putting off the things that matter most. Life is not made up of grand, sweeping events. It's made up of small, everyday moments. These are the moments that define who we are and how we live. Yet, in our pursuit of bigger and better things, we often overlook the beauty in the small details of life. The truth is, happiness and fulfillment are found in these small moments, in the quiet joy of a morning cup of coffee, in the warmth of a smile, in the sound of rain. When we learn to appreciate these moments, we begin to live a richer and more meaningful life. Each small moment is an opportunity to connect to ourselves, to others, to the world around us. When we begin to see the value in the little things, we stop chasing after some distant future and start truly living in the now. Ultimately, time is not just about how we live, it's about what we leave behind. The question of legacy is one we all must face. What will you be remembered for? How will your time on this earth impact the lives of others? Legacy isn't just about fame or wealth. It's about the small acts of kindness, the relationships you've nurtured, the love you've given. It's about how you've spent your time, whether you've lived authentically, with purpose, and with intention. We don't get to choose how much time we have, but we do get to choose what we do with it. And in the end, what will matter most is not how much time we had, but how deeply we lived. Time is running out, for all of us. But this isn't meant to frighten you. It's a reminder, a call to action. The time to live is now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but in this very moment. As you leave this video, ask yourself, how do you want to spend your time? What small changes can you make today to live more intentionally, more fully? Remember, it's not the length of your life that matters, it's the depth. Time is a gift, and it's up to you to decide how you will use it.